Hi everybody, it's Mr. Gray here. Thank you again for another great week. The kids are hard at work. Next week on Monday, we have our second of 3 mile run practices. It was pretty wet last time. And so if the kids want to bring a change of shoes and or socks, that is totally fine. And then we'll do the mile run one more time on Monday, March 18th. Some other stuff that's coming up on Monday, March 11th, there is no school. And then that week, we're starting our third speaking and listening chit chats, where the kids give a speech. This time they're trying to teach us about something, so they only get 3 minutes to teach us something. And some of them have kind of interactive work. Last year, this one was the hardest one for the kids to rein in the time because it's a little more interactive with the audience. So hopefully they get to practice with you. Some more events coming up. 5th grade guys night is coming up on Thursday, March 14th from 6 to 7 p.m. in the MPR. So it's at school at night. I will be there for at least part of the time, definitely for the food part, but it's a great time where kids get to learn a little bit about more of themselves, but mostly it's a time for dads and sons or moms and sons to spend some time together that's a little more intentional than sometimes happens with our busy lives. So I highly recommend it that all the boys, if you can, go to Guys Night on Thursday, March 14th. Again, they talk about growing up and changing bodies, but the big part of the time is about sons and parents talking to each other and growing the connection. So it is a great night. Highly recommend. There is food provided beforehand, so you can get there a little bit early to eat, and then 6 to 7. So hopefully I will see you there. All the boys in class. If you haven't yet signed up for Irvine Junior Games, please do that. The Walk Through the American Revolution is coming up on Wednesday, March 20th. We're hard at work. Kids are practicing their parts and practicing their battle scenes. We're going to be making props. So it's going to be a fantastic event that we do. So hopefully kids are kind of practicing at home, and hopefully you've talked to them about what their costume is going to be. I've heard the full gamut. Some people are buying a costume. Some people are using clothes they already have. Some people are just making a costume out of materials they have at home, and all of those are fantastic. If you need any help or guidance, I'm definitely here to help you through any of that. So hopefully that is a little more helpful getting ready for that. We have a million things going on as usual. Next week for reading, we're moving on from Alexander Hamilton, The Outsider. If you haven't asked your kid about that, it is great. We referenced the play Hamilton, the musical, a couple times. Now, Hamilton the musical is a wonderful, fantastic musical. The songs are great. The history is very good. It'll really get kids excited about learning. However, there's lots of bad language and inappropriate content. So I'm not recommending for the kids to go watch it or listen to the songs. We're just using a couple that I know are clean and are together with the theme I'm trying to talk about in class. So if your kids come home and they say, I really want to watch that, that is a decision up to you because like I said, there is bad language and adult content. And don't forget, they come back to U.S. history in 8th grade, and maybe that's a little bit more of an appropriate time if you feel that way. And of course, if you want to watch it with them, that's great too. It's on Disney+. The songs are on any streaming service, and it's really great, and they'll be super into it if that's something you guys decide to do. So the kids next week will read American Revolution book clubs. We were studying historical fiction before, and now we're going to stay with historical fiction, but zoning in on the American Revolution. These last 4 weeks or so, 4 weeks before spring break, it's going to be American Revolution basically all the way through. You're going to hear about it a few more times. So the kids will be in a book club. They'll be in charge of setting the schedule and the discussion topics, as well as like a final little project for each book that they read. And then, they'll get through probably like somewhere between 2 and 4 books, depending on what books they choose before spring break. So that'll be really great. For writing, I had intended to start our next unit information. I think because of Walk Through the American Revolution and this kind of shortened time we have, I think that's going to get pushed till after spring break so we can give it our full attention. So it's possible some information writing will get done, but I doubt it. I think history is going to take priority for a little bit. In math, we're going to start our next unit called Shapes on the Coordinate Plane. The kids are going to plot points on the coordinate plane and make shapes. They'll take a little, very short quiz on Wednesday, and then we're going to take a little detour on Thursday to talk about, I'll do a little art project using fractals. So that'll be really fun. For social studies, in addition to working on a walk through the American Revolution, we're going to continue our study of the road leading up to the Revolutionary War, and now we're kind of in it. And we're going to talk about the Declaration of Independence. We're going to take time to really look at the document itself. We just went through and looked at the document Common Sense by Thomas Paine, and it just takes a lot of mental strain and effort and discussion to get through it, to get through any part of it, because it's written a long time ago in English that looks like a different language, and we're not so in tune to what's happening at that time. So we're going to take some time to analyze the Declaration of Independence, and then we're going to start on the kids actually writing their own Declaration of Independence. They're not declaring their independence from a country, but they're declaring their independence, for their own life and growing up. So that'll be really fun. Of course, they'll do Science Lab with Mr. Marco next week. And if you haven't heard about it, the kids are doing a leadership project that has to affect the community. So they're just getting the pieces together now. By the end of spring break, they will probably have a very clear plan. Or by the time we get to spring break, they'll probably have a very clear plan on what they are going to do. That's been approved by me. We're not quite there yet. And then probably after spring break, they'll be actually implementing that plan. So yes, tons going on. 4 weeks till spring break. We're going to be busy all the way through. That'll be really fun. If you haven't yet signed up for a conference in the spring and you would like to have a conference with me about your students' progress, I sent out a link about that. And of course, you can just ask me for the link if you need it. And then just tell me what you want to talk about. I requested a spring conference for some of you because I have some specific thing that I want to talk about or to look at some specific progress. But if you have something you want to talk about, of course, I am available for that. Okay? Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back at it next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.